Hi, guys. We are back to finish. Oh, excuse me. We are back to finish talking about Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. This is the second book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. So far, as of this point, third book is not out yet. Coming in February, right, Elena? I always go to you because you know when everything's coming out. Yeah,
Yeah.
February. The third book will be coming out, so now we have to wait until that happens. But we finished the book. We read from chapter 19 to the end for this one, which is Exposed. That's the first chapter in this section. So if you are not done with the book, don't listen to this. We're gonna ruin all of it for you. At least like go back and watch the other episodes about this awesome book. But yeah, does anyone have a particular spot that they want to kick things off at? I think the last thing that we had seen in the last section was a very spicy concert scene. Um, so it starts off with after the concert, the fallout from the concert, I guess. There are a lot of emotions in that chapter. Um,
Yeah.
what did y'all think?
I started reading it and very much expected it to like be them hooking up. And so the interlude where like Lark has a little breakdown and Abe randomly shows up, I was like, this is an interesting choice. I feels weird to bring Abe in here, but whatever.
Yeah, Abe makes another appearance where he just like comes over and kind of just makes one of his Bible references and is spooky. And yeah, Lark has like a mini freak out when she looks for Lachlan for like a hot second, doesn't find him and thinks that he's left. Like he either didn't think that the the vibrator stunt was sexy or cool or whatever, so she's just like getting all up in her own emotions. We do finally get the spice scene, which I didn't think was half bad, but yeah, a lot of emotions that led up to that.
So much. When it was
Does
just
it?
a text message.
Yeah, like he was just waiting for her in
Yeah.
the dressing room, like the first place I would have looked after a show for someone personally. um side note, does anyone feel bad for Xander? Like, I kind of feel bad for Xander. I'm just gonna go out and say that I feel a little bad for Xander. Anyone else? Do we care?
No.
Yeah.
Why do you feel bad for him?
I don't, I just felt like, it didn't seem like he treated her poorly. It seemed like they either had like a small thing or he wished there was a thing. And just all of a sudden this girl that he clearly is like hung up on is married and then doing unspeakable things to her husband in the bathroom that he just walks in on. I don't know. I just felt a little bit like we could have been more cognizant of Xander's feelings, but I don't think we're ever going to see him again, so I think it's fine.
Also, he just can't compete with Lachlan, and he should know that.
Yeah. No, like I wasn't expecting a moment between Lark and Xander. There was also that moment where they were like, "Oh, anyone could walk into this bathroom." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe you could pick somewhere else." Or like, I don't know, is there a lock on the door? Could we have locked the door? Could we have taken just 3 seconds so poor Xander didn't have to walk in and see what he saw?
Yeah, but then they leave and go home, so it's okay.
Totally fine. And we'll never see him again. I'm almost certain. Never again will we see Xander.
Yeah, you can feel sorry for him for the both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'm over it now. I'm over it. I just had to say that one thing. Um, but yeah, I at least in terms of the Lark and Lachlan relationship, I I really appreciated it. I thought that they had some really nice relationship buildy scenes that I was actually surprised. I think I anticipated that book 2 was going to push the envelope of what book 1 had started, and I personally felt like it was tamer. Like, did anyone else feel like their love and their spice was just a little tamer than Sloane and Rowan?
I mean, I think Sloan and Rowan set a pretty high bar.
For sure.
We did.
and like Lark and Lachlan were like right there. Like they were there.
Yeah.
I think I had been gearing myself up for like, whoa, if Butcher and Blackbird was like this level, I felt like Leather and Lark was gonna take it even further, which I had no concept of what that meant. But I was just I was surprised. Like there were definitely still some scenes where I was like, all right, but for the most part I was like, this is just like cute. Like
Yeah.
again, I felt like it was very much them, and it was just like mostly very sweet.
Maybe that's what it is. Like how Rowan and Sloane in the first book, like how their scenes were very much them. Uh,
Mhm.
Same for Lachlan and Lark.
Yeah.
Can I just, since we're talking about those scenes, can I talk about the bonus chapter strap?
Absolutely. Go straight to the end, Jamie. Get in there.
I actually liked it. I don't know about you guys. I liked it because it's Lark being in charge, you know? And like
Well,
because the whole time it's always been Lachlan doing, making the moves, being bossy, all of that, being the dom. So it was kind of
yes.
fun seeing Lark in that role.
I think one of the things that I loved about their relationship, and specifically that part of their relationship, is that, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but like, I agree with you, Jamie, that in every other scene up until then, Lachlan is in charge, but he's not. Like, there's like one line where he's like, yeah, I'll pretend to be in charge. And I just loved that. I loved how like one of her favorite games is that she can pretend like she's not in charge. Just like, oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting that. And I loved that that was a surprise for me, that that was like how their relationship, their like private moments were going to go. So yeah, I loved the last scene too.
Yeah, and I think it made it better that it was on top of the shredded divorce papers.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't catch, like I couldn't quite figure out why she was upset when he was coming back from, so they're on their honeymoon and he comes back from just like going for a quick dive. He's just like taking off his scuba gear and whatnot, and she's upset, and I could not tell why she was upset. Because even the taking off the wedding rig made sense to me, because I do the same thing when I go into the ocean or like the lake. I take mine off because I'm not chancing fate. So I did not get it until she explained the whole situation, and I was like, you know what, I love this. I love them. They're so cute.
Yeah, I love that it came back, the divorce papers.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it first was brought out, she was pissed about it. But it followed up with the proposal.
Yeah. How did you guys like that scene? Because I thought it was perfect. I thought like the mix of I'm proposing to you and want to be with you, but also here are divorce papers ready to go if that's what you want. Like I felt like that was the most supportive, like I'm not looking for you to call my bluff. Like I like these are your options and I'll be okay with either of them because I love you. But like how did you guys feel?
Same, I can't help but compare it, but it's the same way how Rowan approached things, same way how Lachlan approached this. It's very Lachlan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite scene of the section. The section was not my favorite, but that scene was definitely a highlight.
Um, I agree with you, Elena, and I think we should talk more about that. But you saying that that was your favorite scene made me want to share my personal favorite scene, which I don't know about you guys, but I was literally laughing my ass off. Like, and this was last night, like my husband is in the next room playing video games, and I was like, thank goodness he has his headset on to play with his friends, because if he was hearing me right now cackling, and I mean cackling, and it's the removing the eye scene of the dead
Oh my
lawyer.
god, that's right.
I
Like,
forgot about that.
I did
like
too because we read it days ago, Elena and
right,
I, so
right.
it's not fresh in our mind, but yes, I was laughing during that scene too.
Oh,
You,
no.
yeah, you guys have
Jacob
been
and I
waiting on me for too long.
differently. I had the audiobook on while I was driving, and Jacob was in the car, and he started yelling at me because I started hitting the like fast forward button because like they were describing like the eye, and he was like, "Why are you doing that? Do you need something? Like I can do it." And I was like, "Shh." And he was like, "I don't understand what you're trying to do." And I was like, "I don't want to hear the eye description."
It was gross. Like, this was the one scene in this book that I was like, "Oh, I really don't like this. Is like a little too graphic for me." But I think the thing that made it better is that they were both just as grossed out as I was. So I felt like I was in good company, and just them like trying to get through it together, but then also like her kind of fucking with him a little bit while they like, oh, it was just I was dying laughing. Like that whole scene was absolute gold.
Also, Connor being like, "Actually, you don't need the eye." JK, you do, but
One of them, right?
It was so good. It was so good. Just like this contract killer and a multiple deleter trying to take some guy's eye out and having a really hard time doing it. And they were like, "Why did we not bring Sloane?" I'm like, "Yeah, Sloane would have had no problem." She's like, "Oh yeah, popping eyes out is like what I do every Saturday night." But these guys are just like, I loved it.
Hilarious.
That was my favorite scene. And Elena has shared hers. Jamie, did you have like a top scene from this end part that you like that really stuck with you?
I think it was that one.
Yeah. So funny. Absolutely hilarious. Bottom tier scenes, I'm just gonna throw it out, was Ethel dying. I did not like it. Like I just it and I don't think it's that I just didn't like it because I loved Ethel. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I've been a ride or die for this lady, like this whole book. She is such a firecracker, like absolutely in your face with her wit and everything, and then she just like kind of lets some guy kill her. Like I don't know. I kept waiting through the whole scene for her to have like a gotcha. I was like, did she somehow snip like the IV thing so it's not going to get to her? Does she have a gun under her pillow? Like, but there was nothing and she just died, and I still am wondering why.
has she like secretly trained her body to not like react to poison? Like that
Yeah.
was what was going through my mind. I was like, seems like something maybe she'd do.
Yep.
But I agree. I just couldn't figure out what the point of the scene was. I was like, we're killing off this cute little old lady, and like we've built her up throughout the book. We've like built out how awesome she is, just to like murder her to prove our bad guy is bad. Like, I don't know. And also, I just think it like kind of overarchingly the plot, like Abe killing all the people connected to Lark also didn't end up really making a lot of sense. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna frame Lachlan," but like, we never get a like. I guess it kind of worked, but we never get a reaction from him on the fact it didn't work, and he keeps doing it after they get married. So like, what was like
I
that entire part of the plot, like the whole Abe part, I didn't follow most of the time. Like I followed it, but I was like, "But why?"
I think there was almost like too little that you feel like you didn't follow it, but you did. And it's just there were pieces that for me were missing. I was like, I needed like two or three more chapters. I needed his like evil villain monologue. I needed to really figure out like what his whole thing was. But really all we find out is that he's Harvey's brother, which none I don't think any of us guessed. I know that wasn't my guess. But he's Harvey's brother. Harvey's the like axe murderer that
With the
almost gets
mom?
Sloane.
Chainsaw murderer who just
Yep.
laid with the corpse of his mother on him.
Yes, the mummified mom. That guy. So like this whole time I'm thinking the Texas accent's like a put on because I'm thinking he's probably the brother of like the hotel owner that they killed at first, and yeah, I think we went too deep too. Like we were
We
really trying to figure out who the
So I don't know
Phantom
if that
was, who
was
Abe
our
was.
problem that we went in too deep. So the reveal and how it went down was just underwhelming a little bit.
But in our defense, I feel like Butcher and Blackbird had a really good twist. Like none of us saw that twist
Yeah.
coming, so we kept expecting for there to be a twist, and then there wasn't.
It
Yeah.
wasn't like a satisfying kill either because we never got to see it happen.
No. There's no even question in my mind that he's dead either, because you know I love to do that. Like, okay, maybe he's still alive and maybe he's gonna come back in book 3 and like then it's all going to
No,
make sense.
no, don't go down that
No,
path.
no, he's definitely dead, but you don't see it because you're with Lark, who's in the oven, which I will say that was the one part of like the end scene that I did actually really like. I liked that Lark throughout the whole book is like, I mean, I think mostly kidding, but probably toward the beginning not kidding as much about like putting Lachlan in one of the big ovens and that's how he's gonna die, and then that she almost dies in the big muffin oven. So like that was, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see him die. Like it didn't feel like this big scary guy, because I genuinely thought that the writing of him from the end of Butcher and Blackbird like through up until the end was cool. Like I thought he was going to be a lot more powerful and scary than he was at the end, and then I was like, "Oh, he's just dead." Huh.
Yeah, like I don't know, if we hyped him up too much.
We made it too complicated.
And I thought it would have been really cool if it came full circle, where Lark in the beginning was the whole reason she became a multiple deleter was because she didn't want people to take care of her or save her. Be burdened with that. And in the end, I think it would come full circle if she had saved someone else or saved herself. At least that's what I.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was very surprised by her being the one in the oven.
Also, the ultimatum, just like, oh, by the way, I planted a bomb in your brother's car, but also Lark's in this oven. I was like, okay.
I will say, I loved the choice. Like, I thought that that was, I liked that trope at the end of like the MMC is now gonna have to choose between like the love of his life and his brother. That was hard, and I liked that Lark like forced that decision. Like, I liked that she sacrificed herself to save Rowan and Sloane and make sure that Lachlan could keep them. It just happened too fast for me.
And I
Yeah.
think the other thing that was hard for me is like once again was in the car forcing Jacob to listen. He only listened to this part. He pauses it and goes, "Which one's he gonna choose?" And I was like, he was like, "Which one's gonna die?" And I was like, "Neither of them die. There's a
None of them.
0% chance." Like in my mind, there was never an option where like one of them was killed, injured, maybe I guess, but like even that seemed unlikely. So I think it made it hard. Like ending with this big ultimatum that you know isn't actually an ultimatum was just hard for me.
Yeah.
Phantom Killer consider Fion and Rose in his master plan. It seemed like they were left out. Or is it just me?
Or yeah, I feel like we didn't get a lot from them.
Like he
Also,
didn't mess
like Rose
around with
became
them
her
at
best
all.
friend at some point instead of Sloane.
Sloane's too busy with her new husband. I did feel like, and this might just be because I really was anticipating Sloane and Rowan being more a part of at least like the end of the plot, because it was because of them that like this whole like phantom plot is happening. But them like just being off screen, just like racing back in the car felt kind of like anticlimactic to me. And yeah, at no point was I worried about anybody. Like even Rose getting stabbed, which I will say I do like the end, like that end scene of Fian like rushing in to save Rose. There's no part of me that's worried about Rose. And I loved like Lachlan and Lark having that moment after he gets her out of the oven. Like I felt like the trope was worth it for like the things that they said and like the love that they felt. But yeah, I wasn't worried about anybody for a single second.
Yeah, and I just feel like there's ways it could have been set up where I would have been worried. Like if that had been the Ethel death, like if Lark had to choose between Ethel and Lachlan and then Ethel died, I think it would have been more impactful for me.
That scene might have actually gotten me to cry, because like that would have been, Ethel maybe sacrificing herself so that Lark and Lachlan could be together, or like Lark having to make that really hard choice and, like Ethel helping her. And that probably would have gotten me.
Yeah.
We definitely should have stuffed Ethel into another oven. Like it should have been a three-fer. Like you can only choose one to live, the other two die. Yeah. I think that for me, the Phantom plot definitely like kind of fell apart at the end. But I think that also for me, like I really liked the relationship. So I think that those like little scenes that we get around the like slightly lackluster plot is nice. Like I loved the divorce papers, loved the engagement, loved the heart craft that he made for her. I know we were talking about like, okay, it seemed like he took some piece of the principal or whoever he was of the boarding school, but him like presenting his first deletion craft, and it's his heart like wrapped in suspended in like gold wire in like a resin block. I thought that was super cute.
You called it. You literally were like, he took something and he's crafting, and we were like, what?
I was worried that it was just not going to happen though. Like I was like, oh, maybe he didn't take something. Maybe it was just the leather, but I was happy when he was like, I've got something for you. It's like, oh good. Deletion craft.
I feel like I ended Butcher and Blackbird and immediately was like, oh my god, I need to read
Mm.
Leather and Lark. And I feel like this book didn't end, and I wasn't immediately like, darn, I'm sad the third one's not out. Because, like, I still want to read the third one, but I didn't end in a place where I'm like, I need to read the third one.
Yeah. So what are our thoughts on Fian and Rose? Because I'm trying to think back to at the end of Butcher and Blackbird, we were saying like, oh, it seems like Leather and Lark really hate each other. Like, I wonder what the situation is. And then when Leather and Lark starts, we get a little like back and forth between like jumping back in time to like scenes that we hadn't seen before. Do you think that's going to happen again with this? Because it seems very much like almost half of Fian and Rose's relationship has already happened and we missed it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to jump pretty far back.
Yeah.
Yeah, to how they first met. How did she start living with him? How did she get the cast, right? Wasn't she in what are those things called?
Crutches?
Crutches, yeah. Which I think there's a piece of the crutches on the cover of the third book.
I have seen that. Um, there's like a little piece in Rose's epilogue chapter where she's thinking about it sounded like she was in a motorcycle accident. So I think that I at least took that to be like how she got hurt. And then probably met Fian by him like setting her broken leg or something. But yeah, it just seems like all of a sudden like there have been feelings. Like she clearly loves him because she says it, which I think was like the
Right.
biggest twist of the whole book. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, what?
That
Wait,
was a
can I
twist.
read you guys the one sentence description that is currently available for this book?
Yes, you can, because if anybody is listening to this, they should have finished this book, so that's acceptable.
Circus motorcycle performer Rose meets lonely small town Dr. Fian after a night of murderous adventure goes awry.
Oh, goes awry. Oh,
So she's
Adventure.
also a murderer?
multiple deleter? Serial
Multiple
killer? I don't know. Or is he?
No, he's just a lonely small town doctor.
But she's just a motorcycle circus performer.
Murderer. Murderous night.
Fion could be a murderer.
It says that, but it doesn't say who was doing the deletion.
But it says she meets him after the night.
But maybe it was his night.
Maybe.
They're
It's
doing
everyone's
some
Maybe
night.
things together.
I don't know, because I know that at this point in Butcher and Blackbird, I was like, yeah, I mean, Lark's just a performer. Like, I wonder how this is going to be like serial killery. And then all of a sudden we're like,
That is
Oh my
some
god, she kills people. So I don't know. I don't know what Rose's hobbies are. Who knows?
Magic.
I will say though, because now I've had like one scene in each book that's really bothered me. I will, because again, book court's a safe space. I really don't like clowns, guys. Like they are not. I'm not a fan.
Clown Town. Well, also, who is the villain gonna be? Like, first of all, the other thing I don't understand was this phantom the same as the forest phantom? I don't.
I think so.
That's kind of. I kind of
that's
wish that
why
weren't the case.
yeah, that's why I felt so underwhelmed about his character because he was so hyped since book 1 and then we don't get to see his death in this book.
Or maybe he's not. And we might be digging for something that we're hoping for, but I think that there's a possibility that he's not the forest phantom. Maybe.
But it said phantom on his
I know.
Yeah, it would be weird to call him Phantom and then have it be a different Phantom.
Yeah.
But also, like, we never even got the backstory on, like, all the other murders that he supposedly did that, like, Rowan and Sloane were looking into him in the first place.
Yeah.
Still a mystery.
Maybe we get like a mashup of all 6 Avengers trying to find the forest phantom.
That's why I was like, it'd be really cool if it extended past all 3 books. Or I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's gonna be a prominent character in all 3.
Yeah. Honestly, I really thought that you were right on that, Jamie, when there were only like a few pages left of the book and we're in like the, Lark
We
is about to get what?
Are we positive that he's dead?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I think he gets like super murdered.
Because, we don't see it. Just that Rose was there to kill him off.
Yeah, but we see his body.
Okay. So there's no
Yeah.
chance. You think?
I think
I'm
he's
pretty
dead.
sure.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
get Lark out of the oven. And then
I don't
Rowan
I
and
don't think he's
Sloane
coming
had
back.
exited their car like 15 minutes ago, so it didn't even matter. I don't know. I have thoughts on the end of this book. That's not apparent.
A lot of thoughts. Um yeah, I think that the whole plot would have been like 100% fine for me if it had just been longer. I think I needed more chapters of this is why I'm evil. This was my whole plan. Like some sort of struggle, like a real and then like
Okay,
really make me worry that Lark is not going to make it out.
but if it had been like 4 or 5 chapters longer and Ethel still died how she died,
But then at least it would just be that scene that I'd be like, but why? I
that's
do
true.
wish that Ethel's death had had more of a purpose. Like if because I was anticipating him the Phantom like getting Lark to come to her was going to be how he intercepted her, but it wasn't. Um so if it was something like along those lines of Ethel's death made it so that he got her unaware or like caused some confusion with Lachlan so he didn't immediately realize Lark wasn't there, it would have felt more justified.
Yeah. The only other note I have is if Bentley had died, I would have thrown an absolute like I would have quit the book right there. I was not about to have it.
No,
The one
I
in the
totally
trigger
agree.
warning that I remembered.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about what was the trigger warning? Was it like dog gets hurt, but don't worry, he doesn't die?
Yeah. Something along.
See, I had blocked that
Yeah.
out, and that would have been really handy because I had the same thought as Elena. I was like, absolutely not. Like, especially in this book, like this book where I know no humans are going to die. If Bentley's the one that dies, I riot.
Yeah, I literally texted Jamie and was like, I will quit right now because she had finished it. And she was like, but the trigger warning. And I was like, oh my God, thank God Jamie remembers the trigger warning.
I was in too deep. There really wasn't a moment where I actually stopped, but as I was reading and they were like, "We're going into the room and, there's blood everywhere." I was like,
I know. I remember reading that and just being really sad and just like and just thinking like, no, Bryn wouldn't kill him off. And then I remembered the trigger list.
yeah. I do love that I think it was Lachlan immediately says to Fian, like, "Save the dog." And he's like, "I'm not a veterinarian." And he's like, "Save the dog." There will be no arguing about the dog being saved. And I was like, okay, we're good. We're good. Lachlan and I are on the same page.
Like Lachlan's like, even if we get Lark and she's okay, I won't be okay because she'll murder me if I let this dog die.
Yeah, like above all else, Bentley survives. Fine. That is also where we're at.
The dog wasn't part
Yeah.
of the plan. Well, the Phantom's plan. I think we hyped it too much thinking that they were separate people. That the person that's killing off Lark's business family and the Phantom or Abe are separate, but they turned out to be the same, which I guess we could have seen coming.
No, I don't think we overhyped it. Like, I think that we were trying to explain it in a way where it would make more sense. And then it just came out at the end of the book that he was killing them and it wasn't making an impact, but he kept doing it.
Yeah. And I would say that I don't think that when we started talking about it being two different people that we were trying to make it make more sense. I think we were trying to make it more interesting, just like more high stakes, I guess I should say. Because I still do think that like a couple extra scenes could have made it like really been like, okay, yeah, it was the Phantom the whole time, but he's really freaking scary, and like taking him down was hard, and it felt good at the end, but it
He
just
was that
kinda,
scary though. He was just creepy.
yeah.
Repeating Bible verses.
I mean, like he had multiple scenes where he was just like in people's houses and they didn't know, and like spying on them and they didn't. So like that stuff, yeah, I guess yeah, not scary, but like creepy scary, in that I think he could have kept the creepy scary like all the way to the end and done some really spooky shit that would have felt better. Yeah.
Overall, it was just a bit underwhelming with his character.
Yeah, his character for sure. I will say for me personally, I think plot wise, I definitely prefer the first book. Relationship wise, I'm like on the fence because I think that I really liked the progression of Lark and Lachlan's relationship, and I really liked how it resolved. I just really liked how, they were forced to choose each other, but then the end is about like them like purposefully choosing each other every day and like putting each other first. And it just like it made my heart all warm and cozy. And I'm excited to see more of them in the next book.
But we won't because we didn't see Sloane and Rowan at all. We got one text from Sloane in the back half of this book.
Yeah.
It was a funny text message exchange though. Even
And
Rowan in it.
I'm okay with it being like, predominantly the couple that it's focusing on, right? Like that's the whole point. But I definitely would have loved more of at least Sloane and Rowan. Because like, they're our besties now, and I wanted to see more of them. So I don't know if maybe, since it does seem like it is just going to be the three books, if we'll get more of like all of them working together in the next book. Because it seems like Fian and Rose need a lot of help from from friends to figure out what is going on with them.
Yeah, it seems it's giving opposites attract and friends to lovers.
Yeah. I'm getting like a I don't know if it's like a friends with benefits vibe or like a, almost but not quite. Like they just like keep living with each other, and is it like is there a hang up that like they just don't ever get there, or
There's definitely
is it that
tension and like teasing
oh
from
yeah.
Rose's part. But I don't know if
Yeah.
they ever done anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't get friends to like friends with benefits because it's very clear they're not hooking up in at least book 1, and that it's more of a, like, he it's giving, like, he told her no, and she's mad about it.
But it's also, like, at least to me, it seems very clear that he is also super in love with her. Like, they are both very in love with each other at the end of this book. Like, otherwise he wouldn't have reacted the way that he did when
But
she was hurt.
he doesn't say it back.
He does not.
No. It's the are we I mean, of course it's gonna be like the a love like relationship, but is it I love you in a relationship type of way or is it I love you because you're my friend? I could see it going both ways at this from this book at the end. I just don't know what kind like what type.
I don't know, because as she's leaving, like, she's having that conversation with Lark toward the end before she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back to the circus." She's devastated, and, like, I don't think like, I think she's more devastated than just, like, the, baseline, "Oh, I'm leaving all of my friends, this is sad." She's, like, clearly is in love with this guy, and something didn't work out, and she feels like she needs to go, and whether it's like a I need to go because it's not working out, or like I need to go and I didn't quite get it to work out, or like we left and it's weird. Like I don't.
Right. Like I left and like nothing has happened yet, but it could have.
Right.
No one has like no either of them hasn't made that step towards it until she said I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am looking forward to their story though.
Oh, absolutely. Like, cannot wait to read about them. I'm just wondering how far back we're going to go, or like, are we only going to get a couple scenes to figure out how we got here? And then is there still like a whole love story? Because someone has already said, I love you, and we haven't even started their story yet. I'm just.
Right. I think that's like just throwing us off.
Tune back
It's
here
very
in
different.
February for all the answers.
Right, guys, that was the twist. That was the big twist in this book.
It was though. I was like, you what? Like, hold on. Where have I been? Where have I been for all the scenes that led up to you saying I love you? I want to see those. Yeah. So I guess we'll have to see. Like any predictions, any thoughts on what book 3 is going to be? Like do we have and do we want to take bets on who is the multiple deleter of the crew? Like of the two of them? Is it both of them?
I wanna say it's Fion.
I was gonna
'Cause
say both.
he could be like a Doctor Death kinda guy, you know? Like like the morally gray multiple deleter where like either unaliving for like to help that person or like no they're bad like let's just let you go.
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't make it through surgery.
Like I still am wondering if it's like he finds bad people and then harvests their organs for good, like if it's a situation something like that.
Hmm.
Um and I think it's just because if Fian is just like the younger brother of Lachlan and Rowan, and all that he has going for him is that he is clearly not into commitment and is a doctor, it's gonna be boring AF. So I feel like he needs something else.
Yeah, I think with like siblings like that, like they're always underestimated. So I think we're gonna be surprised by his book.
Yeah. Because for the past two books, he's been like the normal kid that his like two brothers did everything that they did to like give him a chance at a normal life. And I'm like, okay, in what way are you fucked up? I would like to know.
Right. They're all brothers, you know, there's that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, theories on where it's gonna go?
Well, I hope we get to see some of Rose's like life in the circus and like how did she get there? Because I remember you
Hmm.
mentioned her grandmother.
Yeah, I don't know if it was an assumption on my part or based off of some things that the book said, but I thought it was sort of like a family thing. Like
Mm,
she sort of grew up in it.
okay.
That could just be me creating
Well,
backstory
I
where there is
appreciate
none.
you because my memory is so terrible.
Yeah, I don't really
My
remember, but
my grandma used to say that the best magic tricks are performed by the ones who believe.
mm,
Do we get her last name?
I don't know that we do.
Elena, do you know?
Uncertain. Would
Elena's
it make
like,
a
do I know
difference?
because of the book or do I know because of the internet?
Because I wonder
Oh.
now if it's like a family business because the circus is called Silveria.
Mm, I don't know. I'm excited for some circus stuff though. Like as much as I'm not a big fan of clowns, I'm guessing that it's something that I'll probably be okay with in book form. Um,
Those are so
just in person, they kind of creep me out a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, it should be fun. We're definitely gonna read it as soon as it comes out. So check back here sometime in February. I'm not gonna look up when it's coming out, unless Elena knows the exact day of its debut.
Probably around Valentine's Day would be my guess. I feel like that's
Oh,
usually a book drop day.
yeah, that is a very good guess. But yeah, we'll catch you back here for, is it Sparrow and Scythe? Scythe and Sparrow? Scythe and
Uh,
Sparrow?
Silent Sparrow.
Scythe and Sparrow. Book number
Coming out
3.
February 11th.
February 11th. There we go. Thanks, Jamie. So we'll see you guys probably the 3rd week of February for episode number 1. But thanks for reading Leather and Lark with us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Share what you thought. Even if this was like the ending for you was perfect, we want to hear about it. Like tell us why we're lame and we needed to have a better outlook on the Phantom ending. Tell us what you thought about the relationship. Like which one's your favorite out of the 2 books so far? And what are your thoughts for
I'll
the last
say
book?
I love Lachlan. I think Lachlan's my favorite. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about like a big burly man who works with leather, then all of a sudden being with glasses, being very turned on when his wife takes charge. I loved it a lot. So yeah. Come chat with us about it in the Discord, in the comments, wherever it works for you, and we will see you for book number 3. Bye guys.